Order and Chaos Online is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game developed and published by Gameloft. It first appeared in April 2011 as an iOS game and was soon released on other platforms, including Android and Windows Phone. Gaining considerable popularity among mobile users, the game drew many comparisons to the game it most resembled, the well-established MMORPG World of Warcraft. Unfortunately, the game life came to an end on February 16, 2023. A number of players were affected by the game's unexpected closure. Whether they had virtual lives to speak of and what exactly happened to several hundred affected characters became the subject of various discussions and even some lighthearted rumors. The following are the 10 most prevalent stories being told about the Order and Chaos Online shutdown. 10. Pressure from competing products. Order and Chaos Online, of course, wasn't up against just any old competition. It had to contend with the juggernaut MMORPGs like World of Warcraft, not to mention newer, shinier, and more mobile MMORPGs like Lineage 2 Revolution and Blade Soul Revolution. These competing products lured away Order and Chaos players with their superior graphics and, in some cases, simpler and more effective gameplay systems. 9. Weak support. Players saw the support for Order and Chaos Online gradually weaken. Problems like server errors, balance problems, and other technical issues were not sufficiently dealt with. On top of that, customer service was much less responsive, and a lot of players felt like their feedback was just not being heard. 8. Player fatigue. Over time, Order and Chaos Online experienced a drop in content. The developer team simply was not generating enough new, interesting content to keep players' attentions. The existing content, quests, events, and so on, began to feel stale and repetitive. They did not feel so at the outset, but over a year or so, everything began to feel that way. Quest lines unfolded in ways very similar to one another. 7. Too many microtransactions. Microtransactions were a big revenue generator for Order and Chaos Online, but banking on them backfired. Gamers blasted the game for having some vital features and content gated over them. You wanted to win? Gotta pay. Order and Chaos Online gave us a pay-to-win model, and gamers were profoundly dissatisfied. 6. Technical troubles. Order and Chaos Online suffered from technical issues, with an obstructed resolution route. The game engine technology was outdated, while the server system was prone to failure. These two problems had a symbiotic relationship, both diminishing the gaming experience and causing the gamer to downrate the game, while invests. 5. Move on to new projects. The developer of the game, Gameloft, chose to concentrate on fresh and probably more lucrative ventures. When Gameloft began working on new games and projects, the allocation of development resources to Order and Chaos Online dropped. The game was no longer given the attention and the resources it needed to survive. 4. Reduce player engagement. Order and Chaos Online experienced a steady drop in the number of players, which caused the game's profitability to wane. The lack of sufficient player numbers made it too costly to continue maintaining the servers, which in time led to the decision to discontinue the game. 3. Internal conflicts. Rumors circulated regarding internal disputes between Gameloft's creative and management teams. While the creative team had a vision for the game's future, the management team might not have seen eye to eye with them. Disagreements over resource allocation or strategic decisions could have further derailed Gameloft's efforts to continue to develop the game. L2. Financial struggles at Gameloft. Gameloft had probably some significant financial strains that might have hurt their investment potential for Order and Chaos Online. Less money and an overall lack of support could have been their main pushers toward the unmaintenance of this game. Of course, and this is definitely just speculation on my part, the troubles flowing from Gameloft's potential lack of funds might have crossed paths with a decreased number of hardcore players who were paying to keep the game up and running. 1. Departure of developers. The original developers of Order and Chaos Online left the project, and the fresh set of hands who took over the work was not able to match the level of quality and creative vision the game had when the original team was in place. Without that kind of leadership and expertise, the game seemed to lose its sense of purpose and its playability, and the order and chaos of its online universe began to crumble, leading to its eventual demise. The rumors were frequent. We often dealt with them inside the player community and on the forums. Still, it must be said that we kept stoking the fires of our own imaginations. We came up with some very plausible-sounding reasons why the game seemed to be getting less support. But it was all supposition and no real evidence, and Gameloft, to its credit, never corroborated what we were saying. Even so, Order and Chaos Online is still a significant part of MMORPG gaming history, especially concerning mobile games. It showed that intricate MMORPGs could be successfully transitioned to mobile platforms, and in that way, it helped pave the road to the kinds of complex mobile experiences we see today.